Have you ever noticed how some people slowly disappear from everyone's life? At first, it's small things. They stop replying to messages as quickly. They decline invitations. They become distant. And eventually, it feels like they've completely cut everyone off. Friends, acquaintances, sometimes even family. From the outside, this behavior can look confusing. It can feel cold, selfish, or even arrogant. People start asking questions like, why are they acting like this? Or did I do something wrong? But the psychology behind this behavior is often much deeper than it appears. For many people, cutting others off is not about hatred or indifference. It's about protection. Human relationships can be incredibly meaningful, but they can also be incredibly painful. When someone experiences repeated disappointment, betrayal, or emotional hurt, their mind starts looking for ways to avoid that pain in the future. Over time, the brain may come to a simple conclusion. The safest way to avoid getting hurt is to keep distance from people altogether. So instead of risking another emotional wound, they slowly begin to withdraw. Conversations become shorter. Meetings become rare. Eventually, the distance grows so large that the relationship fades away completely. Sometimes the reason is not pain, but exhaustion. Social interaction requires emotional energy. Messages, expectations, conversations, obligations, all of these things constantly demand attention. For some individuals, especially those who feel overwhelmed easily, the pressure of maintaining many relationships can feel mentally draining. Instead of explaining their exhaustion, they take the simplest route their mind can find. They disconnect. It becomes a way to regain peace and silence in a world that feels too loud. Another layer of this behavior often involves vulnerability. Relationships require openness. They require showing parts of yourself that are not always strong or confident. For some people, this level of emotional exposure feels dangerous. Trust means giving someone the ability to hurt you, and not everyone feels comfortable taking that risk. By cutting people off, they remove the possibility of being emotionally exposed. Distance becomes a shield, but there is another side to this behavior that people often misunderstand. Sometimes cutting people off is not about fear or avoidance at all. Sometimes it's about growth. As people change, their priorities and values change as well. The relationships that once felt natural may start to feel misaligned with who they are becoming. Certain friendships might encourage habits they no longer want. Certain environments may hold them back from focusing on their goals. In those moments, some people decide to create distance from the influences around them. It's not necessarily because they dislike the people in their lives, but because they feel a need to redefine their own direction. Of course, there are also cases where cutting people off is simply a way of avoiding conflict. Confrontation is uncomfortable for many people. Talking about problems, disagreements, or hurt feelings requires emotional courage. Instead of facing those conversations, some individuals choose silence and distance. It feels easier to disappear than to explain complicated emotions. The truth is that when someone cuts everyone off, there is rarely a single reason behind it. Human behavior is complicated. A person might be protecting themselves from past pain while also feeling socially overwhelmed. They might be searching for personal growth while also avoiding difficult conversations. From the outside, it may look like they simply stopped caring about people. But in many cases, the real story is far more complex. Understanding this doesn't always make the situation easier for the people left behind. Being cut off can still feel confusing and painful. But it reminds us that behind every human action, there is usually a deeper psychological process shaping the decision. And sometimes, when someone distances themselves from the world, it's not because they hate people. Sometimes it's because they're trying to understand themselves.